Okay, I got a cheap Hohner neck rack for 10-hole diatonics that I'm going to be fixing a couple problems with here. This one cost me about $13, and I really wish Hohner would just charge a little bit more money and build them right in the first place. There's nothing really wrong with the design, but the performance is really pretty poor when it comes from the factory because they don't take the trouble to do it right. And so you end up messing with the rack all the time, trying to keep keep it tightened down so the harp doesn't move away from you as you play. And I'm going to try and resolve that. I've used a number of these over the years. I found some of them work better than others, but generally overall the performance is pretty poor. So to start with, here that we've got the problem of the wing nut itself, which for some reason Hohner doesn't pay any attention to the quality and tolerances of what they're using for fasteners, and this wing nut doesn't match the threads on the screw very well. There's just too much tolerance there, so it wobbles a lot, and that's never good in a threaded fastener. So I'm going to replace that wing nut with this one from the hardware store. I'll show you what the difference is there. You saw how that one wobbled, and this one, if I can get a hold of it here, it just doesn't wobble. I mean, there's a little bit of play in any nut, but not nearly as much as the one that came on the rack. So the other thing is, you see the position of the wire here. It's it's kind of at an angle to the bracket and the screw, and that's not great because you're trying to get these things to mate, surface to surface, and this one doesn't want to do that. And I've bent this one a little bit to try and adjust for that already. I'll see if I can get it a little better than what it is now. Now the other flaw here, sorry, let me get this thing in the right direction, is now this is a threaded hole that the screw is in, so you need to be careful not to strip it as you're doing this. The other problem is that in order to provide a little resistance to movement, once you tighten it down, they've used a star lock washer here, and look what happened to it. It's pressing against this round metal wire that's been bent into a loop, and it's just getting crushed into the opening between it, and it's not really doing its job. A star washer like this is supposed to have two flat surfaces to engage with so that it works properly. So I'm going to add a couple washers, a few washers actually. I'm going to get rid of that star washer. I'm going to use split washers, lock washers here. First one I'm going to put on the screw itself, and get that back in the hole. And the reason for this is that I found that when this screw is seated and then you go and tighten the wing nut, you sometimes cause the screw to rotate as you're tightening, and it actually rotates the screw out of the hole because you're turning it in the direction, the opposite direction of when you would tighten it. So I'm going to put that split washer in the hope that that will stop that problem. And then I'm going to put a flat washer. Whoops. This would be easier if I wasn't fussing with the camera. I'm going to put a flat washer on here, and then another one on the other side. But first I said I was going to try and get this to line up a little better. It's not as bad as it was. It was off a lot more when I got it. So yeah, so there we go. So this is very springy, and when I bring it back in, I want it to be parallel like that. So that's, I think, going to be good. Now I want to get a little more thread exposure here, and get that one there, get that one there, and I'm going to bring that thread through here. This is where I have to squeeze with the other hand, and I'm going to try and pop that over there and get that through there. There. Now I'm going to tighten this screw down against that split washer. I'm not going to use a ton of force there, because all I have to do is flatten that washer and make it snug, and it should stay in place. Now I'm going to put another flat washer on here on this side, because I want as much engagement as possible with the split washer here. And the hole in this little piece, as you can see, it's bigger than the screw by quite some distance there, and this will match up so that this thin little split washer will actually engage with the flat washer and won't get pushed down into that hole. So, and there, that tightens up nicely, and it's operating smoothly, unlike what it was doing with the flat washer. Now you'll notice that the whole thing is turning, including the screw. I don't know if you can see that on camera. Let me see. See, the screw is turning, and that's what I wanted, was that this wing nut, the screw, would act as one unit when this is turned, so that it's not backing the wing nut off of the screw, so the tension is still there. I can tighten it down enough that I can still actually adjust the harp a little bit, but once it's there, it's going to stay put pretty well. I think this is going to work out well. So, quick fix. It cost me about, I don't know, $3.50 for the washers, and you know what I didn't do. Yeah, I did. I put on the new wing nut. So yeah, the new wing nut and the washers were about $3.50 because I had to buy bags of them. I didn't need the whole bag, but that's the only way I could buy them in the hardware store. So good economical solution for a neck rack if you can't afford one of the fancier ones, or you just prefer this kind of rack. Hope that works for you.